Hello, my name's Eliza. I'm back for more entrepreneurship content. I'm going to be watching another episode of Dragon's Den. And this one is all about condom production. So this should be very fun. Okay, let's go.
Hello Dragons, my name is Joe Nelson and I am the Condom Revolutionary. In December 2011 I launched my company TheyFit. TheyFit manufactures and sells directly to consumers 95 different sizes of male condom. We make 14 different lengths starting at just 3 inches all the way up to 9.5 inches and 12 different nominal widths which fit circumferences from 3.5 inches out to 7.5 inches.
As I've mentioned before, I think it's better if you start off with the problem and set that up before you go into what you sell. You can do like a super brief overview. You can just say, hello, my name is blank, I sell customized condoms, and then go back to the problem.
The Family Planning Association tell us that currently half of all pregnancies are unplanned. The World Health Organization estimates that every single day around the world 1 million people catch a sexually transmitted infection. Now, the male condom goes a long way to addressing both issues, but only when it's used. I'm changing people's behaviour.
The good thing that he did was that he cited some statistics. He had some really good data on unwanted pregnancies and HIV transmissions, which is good. On the other hand, I'm not sure that he made the connection properly since this is a customized fit. I'm not sure that he has any data about men not using condoms specifically because they feel that they don't fit. I haven't heard any statistics. That's what would make it really strong, to make it that specific, to prove that there's a problem and to prove that you've done your market research.
Behaviour and attitudes towards their sexual health for the better. I've made a condom that men want to wear rather than need convincing to. It's been a pleasure pitching to you. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to your questions.
Yeah, the implication is that his product is going to be better than anything else out on the market. So his unique selling proposition is that it is more enjoyable than to use than any of the competition. He hasn't mentioned anything about price, so I'm guessing that quality is the only thing that sets him apart.
An intriguing pitch from Joe Nelson, who's looking for £200,000 in return for a 10% stake in his company.
Oh wow, if he's asking for £200,000 for 10% of his company, the implication, if there's no other investors, any other money coming in, the implication is that he values the company at £2 million. That's just the maths. You just divide the amount asked by the percentage that you would get. So 200,000 divided by 10% is 2 million. That's how you get your valuation.
So talk me through the customizing the sizing.
It's probably best, Piers, to give you one of these.
I thought what you were going to say then. So
that's called a fit kit.
Okay, so now he hands over a piece of paper that helps you measure yourself. And it's a physical piece of paper that you can use, but he later goes on to say that he sells exclusively online. So I don't know how you're supposed to do this. I don't know if he has instructions online, but if you don't have the card to do the measuring, that's going to be a problem. Anyway, it's just interesting.
Buy the right size.
It's as easy as finding the right size of shoe. For essentially 90 years, latex condoms have been sold one size fits all.
Okay, so he's basically comparing condoms to shoe size. I mean, I don't know how else to say this. Latex is pretty stretchy, so it's not the best comparison to shoes, perhaps. Now, he's got a panel of 5 investors. 3 of them should have some experience with this particular problem. You know, I'm making a lot of assumptions, but you should at least have some people who have experience. You want to tailor your pitch very differently to people who might have experience with the problem versus those who don't.
Forget manufacturing. You go to Boots
Yep.
and you will see condoms in different sizes.
You won't find any condom box in the UK that has the exact size of the condom in the box.
No, I'm not saying they are, but what I'm
Yeah, you need to be really careful to not oversell. He says that there's like no measuring system, but I'm sure they're going to mention that there are different labels for different kinds of sizing in stores. So you have to be really careful to not oversell yourself, and to be very specific in your language, especially with something that your investors are likely to have experience with.
I'm surprised that you haven't researched the market profitability opportunity over a product like this with such wide and varied range, when probably 80% of your sales will come from, I would suggest, 10% of the lines that you're introducing.
Okay, so what he's talking about here is this idea. I think the entrepreneur mentioned that there were 95 different variants of this product. So what he's getting at is that most people are going to be on a bell curve of sizes and ranges, which means that the extremes are not going to sell as many, whereas the middle is going to sell a whole bunch. And that's true. That's often true for clothing sizes. That's one of the reasons why creating plus size clothing took so long to do. Now it's changing a bit, but the nature of the problem was that clothing manufacturers didn't want to go to extreme ends on either side so much. They mostly sell mediums and larges because that's sort of the average. And now the average has shifted upwards, so the market needed to adjust for that. So what he's saying is that you are only going to mostly be selling a small range of sizes, and that's probably why a lot of other companies haven't customized it to that degree, because it's classically not necessary, especially with a stretchy material like latex. Can probably accommodate a more different sizes. So that's what he's talking about. And especially with something like this, this is gonna be a pretty low margin product because it's a consumer good, and unless you're super, super premium, you're just not gonna have very high margins for this kind of product.
Do you intend to sell this in shops
No.
or just online?
Just online.
Online, because you can't sell it in the shop because
Shelf space.
the shelf space. You have to
And
have 95 in a row,
yeah.
and that's where the weakness is in this.
I have to say that that's pretty compelling. The idea of people being embarrassed to walk into shops to buy condoms. I kind of wish he had introduced that beforehand, because I know that that's a pretty compelling reason why people do all kinds of things, even for shopping for clothes online. A lot of people like that the clothes come to your house and you get to try them on in the privacy of your own home, so that you're not embarrassed by dressing rooms or what have you. So I reckon he could have led with that, actually, and that could have been compelling as a pitch. Probably not on its own, but I think it would have been powerful.
Durex is probably the biggest condom company.
In the UK, yes.
Right. Why would they not have done something like this? They're a very successful company.
Yep.
Right. So when you have a very big, successful company in your space, you're going to really need to justify why they're not doing what you are doing. That's going to be a classic question that will be asked if you have someone big in your space. So this is one of those questions. Obviously, you can't prepare for every question, but there are almost guaranteed to get certain questions if you don't have it in your pitch. And even when you do, sometimes investors want you to elaborate more. And this is definitely something that he should have prepared and ready to go.
Condoms are made in one size fits all because doing that enables you to make them quickly, reliably, but most importantly, cheaply. But the key thing missing is satisfaction with using the product.
So what he's describing, and I think they'll get to this, is that he's actually describing a premium product. And I think that there is an issue because you can target to mass market or you can target to a premium smaller market. If you target to a premium market, you can charge higher prices. And if you charge to a mass market, you're going to have lower prices so that more people can afford your product. But it seems like what he's doing is offering a more expensive product, but he wants everyone to buy it. And so that's going to be difficult to do.
And with a net loss of £7,500 in his first year of trading.
Okay, so he made a net loss his first year. Again, that's not the end of the world, but you do have to think about why you're making that loss and why you won't be making that loss in the future. So if there's a justifiable reason, an upfront capital cost that you had to make, then that's fine. But, you know, the thing with this pitch is that slowly more and more things are stacking up against him. They're not confident in the business model. They're not confident in him. They're not confident in the sales figures. So it's and they're not confident in the problem itself. So it's a really shaky foundation right now.
Obviously, the key to the valuation is not sitting in your trading figures to date. So it's presumably sitting in the patent.
Actually, the patent doesn't make me sleep easily at night.
Well, I was about to say...
Whew. That's not good. That's not good. I don't know what that means.
I'd like to see the patent.
Handing Deborah Meaden paperwork. It's a big move. It's a big move. She'll cut you down.
Meaning is that if I
This does not stop other people sizing condoms. This stops other people using your method of sizing condoms.
That's not true.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think that would be a very patentable idea, but who knows?
Before this product is
There isn't. Small, medium, large.
Again, latex is stretchy.
But the real defining and crowning moment is you.
I don't know how to process that.
I couldn't work with you because you go into sales mode without listening or really taking in the question.
Oof, oof. That is something that you never want to hear. Because the fact is that once you have the basic foundations covered, it's a convincing problem. Your solution is a fairly compelling product. You've got a pretty good business model and strategy. You've got a pretty good team together. You can get, 80% there, and you don't even have to be at 100%. If the investor feels like they can work with you to get you to that next level. And in fact, lots of times they prefer that because they feel like they're involved and they want to help in that sense. But basically what they're saying is that this is just not going to be a working relationship. The chances of investment just plummet, basically. So you really don't ever want to hear that. And in an investor meeting, and if you ever do, really reevaluate, really make sure you're listening, make sure you're responding, make sure you're grateful for any feedback, even if you think it's terrible feedback, even if you think this doesn't apply at all. Be grateful for it because that means that they're engaging with you on a level where they're providing feedback. So, you have to be grateful for what they're saying to you.
I am changing people's behaviour.
Yes.
I want to give free condoms to third world countries.
Ultimately, once it's profitable enough, yes, I think that's a nice aspiration.
Anyway, Joe, I'm out, so there's no point talking to me anymore.
Okay.
You see, here's another instance of trying to argue, which is just not. I get it. He's so passionate about his product and his business, and he's been working on this for ages. But you have to be able to put that ego aside and try and listen and try and make it a collaborative process, because that's the only way you're going to move forward with an investment, is if you can come together to discuss what it is that you want to do, what it is that you want to achieve together. So, you know, he tried to give him some feedback. The guy talked over him, so he just disengaged, and it's a shame.
Joe, how do you feel it's gone?
Wonderful. It's been thoroughly energising. I think the topic matter really puts people on edge and on the defensive.
So, unfortunately, again, a lack of personal responsibility. He's basically using the topic of condoms as a scapegoat to say that people aren't interested. It is an interesting space. There's lots of startups that are in uncomfortable spaces that have become successful. I think he's just making excuses for not listening to the feedback and not really thinking about his business plan and his product to ensure success.
Your business model is flawed. The reason why some of the main brands work is because, exactly as you've described, they have economies of scale. I do think that you'll be averagely successful, but this is not an investment, and certainly not £2 million.
So Joe departs without the £200,000 investment he was seeking, but at least his visit to the den seems to have provided him with a potential new customer.
I think I might go and grab one of those 3.5-inch ones.
So that was the video. Again, it's a real shame that he couldn't listen to feedback and that he hadn't quite thought through his business model and even his problem space, as it were, the whole way through. It didn't seem very thorough and well researched, unfortunately, and I think that's why he didn't get the investment. But hopefully you'll listen to me talking about this and you will make a terrific startup pitch for your investors. Please like and subscribe for more entrepreneurship content and for more Dragon's Den and Shark Tank reactions.